Are you thinking of selling your home? Well, before you list, there are some key steps that you need to make sure that you take to ensure your home sells quickly and for the best possible price. Neglecting these steps can actually leave money on the table, or worse, scaring off potential buyers. So in this video, we're going to walk through a pre-sale checklist that you can take to help set you up for success. Now, I'm Lucas Ballahhood with the Ballahhood Group Real Estate Services, and in our last video, we discussed the process of decluttering, staging, the value of curb appeal, and having professional marketing photos and video for your home's listing. And these are all crucial steps to help your home stand out amongst the rest. So if you haven't watched that video, please click the link below, check it out. But today, we are going to dive into some of those must-do steps before putting your home on the market. So let's get started, shall we? Step 1. Tackle any necessary repairs in the home that you're capable of doing. Now, before listing, it's smart to try and fix up anything that might turn a buyer off from wanting to buy the property. These might be small issues, but there could be bigger problems lurking behind those issues if they remain unaddressed. Things like, could be patch and paint, so fixing up any cracks or holes in the walls and repainting those areas, so doing some touch-ups in high traffic areas as well. You see this around railings and stairwells, for example. Light switches would be another one where you can see a lot of touch-ups being needed there. Repair any leaky faucets or running toilets. So if there's any running water there that might incur additional utility costs for a homeowner, good thing to tackle that one and get that out of the way. Check any light fixtures and replace any burnt out light bulbs, for example, is another thing you can do, and ensure that your doors and windows all open smoothly. So that might require putting some WD-40 on the hinges, for example, or any of the mechanisms in there that help them open and close smoothly, and tackle those sort of little things. But taking out those little details can help eliminate any unnecessary criticisms of the value of the home as a result of those little objections that a buyer might present you with if those little items weren't addressed. Step 2. Check that your major systems and appliances are all working properly. So this is, buyers want to know that the things in their home that they're purchasing are in good working order. So this might be having your furnace cleaned. This could be making sure there's some maintenance done to your entire HVAC system, as an example. So your furnace, your air conditioner, make sure those things are working properly. Your hot water tank, whether it's tankless or instant or a rented hot water heater, make sure that those are working properly. Make sure you have your roof inspected. So this is something we'll talk about a little bit later. But if there's missing shingles or potential issues with an eaves trough or downspout, that you address those types of issues as well, or even look out for signs of leaks in your attic. Another thing could be the electrical panel. Make sure that everything in the electrical panel is current, or that you know what's going on within your electrical system. And lastly, kitchen appliances. Want to make sure inside the stove we give that a nice deep clean, and that everything looks clean and that it's all functioning properly. For example, within our trades and services team, we have someone who specifically specializes in repairing appliances. So if you've got something that's broken, maybe a burner doesn't work on an appliance, we have folks that can help fix those things before you put your house up on the market. So if you are in need of any of those repairs before listing the house, make sure to get those done. And that's something certainly we can help you with, and avoid any last minute surprises while we're in negotiations for the sale of that property. Item 3. Obviously for me, this is an important one. Pick a real estate agent that you can trust. Obviously, having the right advisor to help you navigate the transaction is really important, and making sure that you trust the advice that person is providing you is even more essential. So, we want to have someone who's got intimate knowledge of the local marketplace that you're working in, that they have a really strong marketing plan to help attract the most qualified buyers to that property. Is their communication style clear, and are they honest with you? The last thing that I think anyone wants is to have someone, or anyone wants as a consumer, is to be sold something that they didn't really want or didn't really need. So make sure that the communication is clear and honest, and that you're not engaging or entering into any kind of agreement that is really not what you're looking for. You want to ensure that that individual has experience in negotiations and they can get you the best terms that align with your goals. And lastly, that they've got a track record of happy clients. You want to make sure you review them on Google Reviews, see what their reviews are like, and see if those meet your standards. But really, don't let the first agent, be the only person that you speak to. Make sure you talk to a couple and make sure you find one that's the right fit and that has the right skills for your needs. That's super important when you're entering into this type of a relationship. Step 4, gather the important documents that you need to sell your home, and essentially that will answer any buyer's questions that they might have. So for example, a buyer and their agent might ask for information like utilities or what the property taxes are. Do you have a recent survey for the property, for example, or any receipts or history documentation that supports any improvements or repairs that you've completed to the home? If there's any documentation around warranties, certainly think about a home that is relatively new. It should have Terrian warranty coverage that still exists on the property, and Terrian warranties generally last for about 7 years. And if you have any documentation around a homeowners association or anything like that for, let's say, a condo community or something like that. But again, providing that information to a buyer erases any questions that they might have and allows a much smoother experience for that buyer to view your home, because we've already come prepared with all the necessary information that we know they are going to ask for. Item 5, and this is an important one here, plan your timeline for your move. Selling your home does mean that you've got to move out and you've got to begin planning this whole process. It does take months. So it's never too early to start planning this move. So, have a goal in mind in terms of what your move out date might be or what the ideal closing timeline is. Are we navigating other variables that need to be considered within this timeline? Does school starting have an important factor in your decision? But you could start packing up essential items or non-essential items that you don't use every day and start to get ready for that move. It'll make packing much easier because you've done some of that in advance, and that's important as well. You want to begin researching potential moving companies and what those costs are, getting quotes on what the various companies can offer and what they might charge depending on how far the move might be. That can vary from one provider to another. And you want to decide as well, what furniture you might want to keep, what you're going to bring to the new home, what you might not, and you can plan on disposing of those items. And obviously, knowing what you're going to bring with you helps when you're preparing for the move itself with the movers. And we also want to make arrangements for your pets on moving day. There's going to be people coming and going, so in and out, the door might be open. So what are you going to do for your furry friends or your pets that might be at home with you and make that day a little bit less stressful for them? So having a plan in place that aligns with a timeline is going to help us planning backwards and making this whole process as smooth and as stress-free as possible. Lastly, item number 6 here, and this is an important one when we're in a super active, aggressive seller's market from a selling standpoint, is that getting a pre-listing home inspection done. Now, this is sort of optional, but it's a good thing, a good practice to get into, because a buyer might come in and they want to know what it is that they are buying, and in terms of the condition of the home. Well, if we have a pre-listing home inspection already completed, we won't be surprised by anything that's currently in the home. And if the buyer does want to get their own home inspection done, we already have some documentation that supports what we understand the condition of the home is in. And that's can be a game changer in negotiations at a time. So it'll help identify and helps you fix potential issues before a buyer comes to observe them. You'll avoid any surprises that might come up from a buyer's inspection. So you already know, again, cards are all on the table before they get in there. And it gives buyers more confidence when walking into the home as well, because we've already taken the time to invest in that home inspection so that everyone understands what product it is that we're dealing with here, what elements of the property need some work and what otherwise is of satisfactory condition. So super important and can be very, very helpful when you're when you're trying to attract qualified buyers to your property. So it might be an extra step, but that's okay. It does help relieve time, stress, and save you money down the line. So with that, that's your pre-sale checklist. If you're a seller, these are the six things that you can work on before putting your home on the market. So if you found this video helpful, if you like this video, please feel free to like, subscribe, and share it with all of your friends or anyone else who you think might be or might find this information useful. But I do have a question for you. Which steps do you think are the most important or might make the biggest difference in the sale of your home? Feel free to leave a note in the comments or reach out directly. I'd be happy to hear from you. So have yourselves a fantastic day. That's all from us, and we'll be with you again soon. Bye for now.